My fiancé pranked me at the altar by saying no for a TikTok trend. The officiant stopped the ceremony. I took the microphone, announced, "Joke's on you," and invited the guests to enjoy the party as a singles mixer. She was crying outside while we ate her cake. I, 31 male, still can't believe I'm writing this. My wedding was supposed to be the best day of my life. Instead, it became the moment I realized I'd been engaged to someone who valued TikTok clout over our entire relationship. Quick background. My fiancé, 29, and I had been together for 4 years, engaged for 18 months. We'd built what I thought was a solid foundation. Similar life goals, compatible families, mostly good communication. Or so I thought. She'd always been into social media, Instagram, TikTok, the whole 9 yards. Had about 15K followers, nothing crazy but enough that she took it seriously. I never minded. People have hobbies, mine's woodworking, hers was content creation. Whatever. The wedding was mid-sized, about 120 guests. We'd spent close to 47K between both families and ourselves. I'd personally contributed about $22 from savings I'd been building since my mid-20s. Her parents covered the venue and catering. My parents helped with the honeymoon fund. Day of the wedding, everything seemed perfect. Venue looked amazing. Weather cooperated. My groomsmen and I were in good spirits. I was nervous, sure, but the good kind of nervous. The I can't wait to spend my life with this woman kind. Then came the ceremony. I'm standing at the altar, watching her walk down the aisle. She looks beautiful. I'm getting emotional. My best man hands me a tissue. This is it. The officiant goes through the standard stuff. Readings, vows, we'd written our own, and yeah, I cried during hers. Then comes the moment. Do you take this man to be your lawfully wedded husband? She pauses, looks at me, looks at someone in the crowd. Then, with this weird smile, says, no. Dead. Silence. My brain literally short-circuited. I'm standing there thinking I misheard. The officiant looks confused, asks her to repeat. I said no. She's now giggling. Actually giggling. I follow her eyeline to the crowd. Her maid of honor is standing in the front row with her phone out, recording. Her bridesmaid next to her is also recording. That's when it clicked. This was for content. She was humiliating me at our wedding for a TikTok trend. The officiant, bless him, was an older gentleman who clearly had zero patience for this. He closed his book, looked at both of us, and said, "Ma'am, if you're not prepared to take this seriously, I cannot continue the ceremony." She started backpedaling immediately. Wait, no, it was just a joke. I was going to say yes, it's a thing, look it up, it's funny. But the officiant was already stepping back. The sanctity of marriage is not a joke. I will not be part of this. She's now turning red, looking at me with this, help me fix this, expression. Like I was supposed to smooth it over. Something in me just shifted. 3 years of ignoring her need for validation. 18 months of wedding planning where everything had to be aesthetic for the gram. The time she made me reshoot our engagement photos 6 times because the lighting wasn't right. It all crystallized in that moment. I looked at her, looked at the crowd, saw my mom's confused face, my dad looking concerned, her parents looking mortified. Then I walked over to the DJ booth and took the microphone. Hey everyone. So, apparently that was a TikTok prank. My bride decided our wedding was the perfect venue for content creation. Murmurs in the crowd. Her maid of honor has lowered her phone, looking nervous. Since the ceremony's been called off, I'd like to invite everyone to stay, enjoy the open bar, and consider this a singles mixer. The food's paid for, the venue's booked, and I'm not letting 47K worth of celebration go to waste. I looked at my now former fiancé. You wanted viral content? There you go. Her face went from red to white. She tried to grab the mic from me, but I stepped back. Enjoy the party, everyone. DJ, play something fun. The next few minutes were chaos. She was screaming at me, calling me dramatic, saying I ruined everything. Her maid of honor tried to calm her down, while simultaneously still holding her phone. Priorities, I guess. My best man and groomsmen closed ranks around me. My mom was already at the bar, ordering what I later learned was 3 shots of whiskey. Her parents approached me, looking shell-shocked. Her dad actually apologized to me. Her mom just stood there with her mouth open. Eventually, venue security escorted her out after she tried to unplug the DJ equipment. She was crying on the steps outside while 120 guests ate appetizers and hit the dance floor. The cake, the 3-tier $1,200 fondant masterpiece she'd spent weeks designing, we cut it anyway. My best man made a toast to dodging bullets, and honestly, it was the best cake I've ever tasted. Update 1 week later. So the aftermath has been interesting. First, the TikTok thing. Her maid of honor actually posted the video. Not the whole thing, just the prank part, cutting off before my microphone moment. Titled it something like "Wedding Prank Gone Wrong" with a laughing emoji. It got about 50K views before someone who was actually at the wedding commented with the full context. Then other guests started chiming in. The narrative flipped fast. Comments went from "lol queen" to "wait, she actually ruined her own wedding for clout?" The video got deleted within 48 hours, but screenshots live forever. Her family's response has been predictable entitlement. Her mom called me Tuesday. I shouldn't have answered, but I was curious. "You owe my daughter an apology, and frankly, you owe us money." Excuse me? The venue, the catering, all of it. You humiliated her in front of everyone. She's devastated. She can't even leave the house. Your daughter said no at the altar for a social media video. It was a joke. You were supposed to laugh and then she'd say yes. Everyone does it. The officiant didn't think it was a joke. He refused to continue. So you should have found another officiant. Instead, you turned our daughter's wedding into some kind of revenge party. It wasn't revenge. It was salvaging an expensive event after your daughter torpedoed it. We'll be consulting with a lawyer about recovering our costs. Good luck with that. I'd love to see that court filing. Your Honor, my daughter pranked her groom and he threw a party. She hung up on me. Then came the apology from my former fiancée. And I use quotes because it was the most non-apology I've ever received. She showed up at my apartment Saturday morning. I only opened the door because she said she wanted to return some of my stuff she still had. She looked rough, clearly hadn't been sleeping. I almost felt bad. Almost. Can we talk? About what? Us, the wedding, everything. There's no us. You made that clear when you said no at the altar. I was going to say yes. It was literally a 2-second joke. That resulted in the officiant refusing to marry us and me being publicly humiliated. You were humiliated? I was crying outside my own wedding while you partied. Actions have consequences. She started crying then. I can't believe you're doing this. 4 years together and you just throw it all away over a joke. You threw it away. I just responded. Everyone makes mistakes. This wasn't a mistake. It was a choice. You chose content over our marriage before it even started. She tried a different tactic then. The manipulation playbook came out. My therapist says I have anxiety around commitment. The prank was my way of coping. I was nervous. You should understand that. I was nervous too. I didn't say no at the altar and have my friends record it. So that's it? You're really not going to work through this with me? There's nothing to work through. You showed me exactly who you are. Believe people when they do that. She left shortly after, but not before telling me I was emotionally unavailable and incapable of forgiveness. Her car was barely out of the parking lot before she posted a story about when the person you love abandons you in your lowest moment. The entitlement is genuinely staggering. Financial stuff. I'm in the process of trying to recover what I can. The venue had a no-refund policy, but the manager felt bad enough about the situation that they're giving me a credit for a future event. Lol. Catering is gone. DJ actually refused payment entirely after witnessing everything. Absolute legend. Photographer sent me all the photos up until the ceremony stopped free of charge, with a note saying, "For the memories you might actually want." My family's been supportive. My dad told me he knew something was off about her, but you seemed happy, so I kept my mouth shut. Mom's been bringing over casseroles like someone died. In a way, I guess something did. Her friends have been blowing up my phone. The maid of honor sent me a DM calling me cruel and saying I need to understand that content creation is her passion, and you should support that. I support passion. I don't support being the butt of a joke at my own wedding. Blocked most of them. But this isn't over. Her family is apparently serious about the lawyer thing. Update 2. 3 weeks later. The lawyer situation turned into actual drama. Got a letter from her family's attorney last week. They're demanding I reimburse them for $18,000, their contribution to the wedding. The argument? I intentionally caused emotional distress and converted the event for personal benefit. My cousin is a paralegal and she literally laughed when I showed her. They're basically suing you for not crying in a corner after their daughter humiliated you. I got my own consultation with an actual attorney. His take, this will never see a courtroom. They're hoping you'll settle to make it go away. Don't. So I'm not settling. Sent back a response via my lawyer that included 1. Video evidence from multiple guests, showing the bride refusing to complete the ceremony. 2. The officiant's written statement refusing to continue due to the bride's apparent lack of seriousness. 3. Documentation that I contributed $22 of my own money to the event. 4. A counterclaim for half the costs they're demanding since their daughter's actions caused the ceremony to fail. Haven't heard back yet. Suspiciously quiet. But the real entertainment came from an unexpected source, her ex-boyfriend. Dude reached out to me on Instagram. At first I thought it was some flying monkey situation, but no, he wanted to warn me. Hey man, saw what happened. Just wanted to say I'm sorry. She did something similar to me at my birthday party once. Fake broke up with me in front of all my friends for a video. Except back then it was Vine, not TikTok. Same energy though. We ended up talking for like an hour. Apparently she has a pattern. Everything in the relationship becomes content fodder. Every fight, every emotional moment, every milestone. He said he started dreading holidays because he knew everything would be staged and recorded. The engagement thing doesn't surprise me at all, he said. She probably planned that prank for months, had the whole video scripted in her head. He was right. I found out from a mutual friend that she'd been talking about doing something epic and viral at the wedding for weeks. Her bridal party knew. They were all supposed to record from different angles to get the perfect shot. They planned this, coordinated it, and nobody thought to maybe give me a heads up? Meanwhile, her social media has taken a dark turn. She's been posting cryptic quotes about toxic masculinity and men who can't handle strong women. Her followers are eating it up, the ones who don't know the full story, anyway. But here's where it gets interesting. A wedding guest I didn't even know that well, turns out she works in marketing, reached out to me with some intel. FYI, your ex has been pitching herself wedding content companies as someone who can speak about wedding day disasters. She's trying to monetize this. Let that sink in. She humiliated me at our wedding, and now she's trying to make money by telling her victim's story. I took a screenshot of everything and added it to my documentation file. My lawyer thinks it could be useful if the case goes anywhere. Her dad called me directly yesterday. I guess he realized his wife's aggressive approach wasn't working. Listen, son. Don't call me that. Pause. Fair enough. Look, I know my daughter messed up, but she's really struggling. She hasn't been eating. She won't leave her room. Whatever you're doing with the lawyers, can we just let it go? I'm not doing anything with lawyers. Your wife is. I'll talk to her about dropping it if you agree not to countersue. Tell your wife to drop her frivolous claim first, then we'll talk. He sighed. She really did love you, you know? She loved content more. Click. Update 3, 2 months later. Final update because I think this chapter is officially closed. The lawsuit went nowhere, as predicted. Their attorney advised them to drop it after my lawyer sent over the full evidence package. Apparently the combination of the officiant's statement, multiple guest videos, and documentation of my own financial contribution made it clear they had no case. Her mom sent me one final nasty email calling me vindictive and saying I'd destroyed their family. I forwarded it to my lawyer for documentation purposes and didn't respond. The recovery process has been interesting. Financially, I'm out about $22 that I'll never see again. But the credit from the venue is actually transferable, so I sold it to a coworker who's planning his own wedding. Got back about $3,500. Better than nothing. The photography package was actually valuable. The photographer, feeling generous, offered to do a fresh start photo shoot for me at no charge. I politely declined, but referred him to my sister for her engagement photos. Good dude. But here's the resolution that actually felt like justice. Remember the marketing woman who told me about my ex pitching herself to wedding content companies? She connected me with someone she knew at a wedding industry podcast. They'd heard about the incident and wanted both sides. I agreed to a phone interview on the condition I could review my quotes before publication. They were fair, asked straightforward questions about what happened, how I felt, what I'd do differently. The episode aired last month, titled something like, "When Wedding Pranks Go Wrong, A Groom's Perspective." They reached out to my ex for her side. She agreed initially, but then backed out when she learned I'd already participated. The podcast got decent traction. Not viral, but enough that it showed up in the results when you Googled her name, with wedding. 2 weeks after it aired, I got a text from her brother, who I'd always gotten along with. "Just wanted to let you know the wedding content thing fell through. Companies saw the podcast and the full video context. Nobody wants to work with her now. She's pretty devastated, but honestly, man, she brought this on herself. No hard feelings on my end. Good luck with everything." I thanked him and wished him well. He's not responsible for his sister's choices. As for her social media career, checked out of curiosity last week, her follower count dropped by about 4K. She's pivoted to mental health content now. Lots of posts about healing from narcissistic relationships and surviving emotional abuse. No self-awareness whatsoever. Her maid of honor unfollowed me, but also unfollowed her. Guess the friendship didn't survive being associated with the disaster. The ex-boyfriend who reached out, we actually grabbed beers last month. Compared notes, had some dark laughs. He's engaged now to someone completely offline. She doesn't even have Instagram, he told me. It's refreshing. Me? I'm doing okay. Not great, but okay. Therapy's been helpful. The trust issues are real, and I'm working through them. Dating feels impossible right now, and I'm not rushing it. My apartment's been redecorated, got rid of everything that reminded me of her. My best man helped me build a new coffee table from scratch. First woodworking project I've completed in months. It's not perfect, but it's mine. The wedding ring is sitting in a drawer. Haven't decided what to do with it yet. Selling it feels weird. Keeping it feels weirder. Maybe I'll melt it down into something else. Start fresh. Last thing. She tried to reach out one more time, about 3 weeks ago, a long email to my personal account. She apologized, sort of, explained her anxiety issues again, and asked if we could meet for coffee and talk like adults. I didn't respond. Some bridges aren't worth rebuilding, some aren't even worth looking at. What I learned from all this, pay attention to the patterns. The need for validation, the constant documentation of everything, the way every moment had to be content-worthy. I ignored it because I thought love meant accepting someone completely. But there's a difference between accepting flaws and ignoring red flags. She chose a 2-second video over our future. That tells you everything about what she valued. And me? I chose myself, finally. The party was petty, sure, but it was also the first time in 4 years I stopped catering to her needs and did what I wanted. The cake was delicious, by the way. Best decision I made that day. Thanks for reading. Time to close this chapter and move forward.